Fitin10 Nation, it is day 13. Lucky 13. We are into the teens now. If you can believe it, almost 2 weeks in, almost a fifth of the challenge. And, I wanted to just mention something about those bars that I sell. Okay, so just FYI, I do sell the Quattro protein powder, which I highly recommend if you're not vegan, that is. And I also sell the ISO bars. Okay, again, they're not vegan friendly because there is whey protein in there. But I want to speak on the bars because each bar has got 21 to 27 grams of protein, depending on the flavor that you get, as well as anywhere from 280 to 300 calories. And so people ask about the price, and the price for each box is $47.50. So it works out to be just under $4 a bar. And so you might think, well, that's expensive. That's pretty expensive. But when you think about that, okay, when you think about the fact that on average, a meal for you would be about 1.5 of those bars, okay, which would be under $6. And that would be a meal for you. If you had 1.5 chocolate almond iso bars, so that would be 450 calories, and that would be over 40 grams of protein. And that would be under $6. Most of you would not even think about spending $6 on a coffee. Well, maybe you might for coffee, but for a lunch or something, $6 for a lunch, you wouldn't think twice about that, right? You probably wouldn't even think twice about $15 for a lunch, or maybe even $20 for a lunch. So, keep that in mind. Also, if you compare the amount of protein that you get in those bars and the food, the overall food, and you just compare that to groceries and going to buy groceries, do the math on that. Those bars are really not more expensive at all than just buying real food. So keep that in mind. Protein in general, protein sources are expensive. Okay? Meats are expensive, dairies are expensive. Anything that's high in protein is expensive. Okay, much more expensive than, certainly more expensive than carbohydrates, okay? All right, so I just want to say that. Somebody is asking, well, multiple people are asking about tips and tricks for meeting macros. Okay, so here's my tip for you, and I know it's not sexy, but it goes like this. You got to plan out your day, okay? That's what you have to do. It's like, think of it as a journey. Every day is a journey, and you need to get from A to B, okay? If you don't track your mini marks throughout the day, because point A to point B is obviously a big journey for you, that is getting all your calories in, then it's not going to happen. You're not going to make it to point B. So what you need to do is set up these mini marks. That is, take all your food, divide it up, make some meals that match those divisions, and then scale it through the day, right? So it's like, okay, I'm going to eat that next meal at this time, and then I'm going to eat the next meal at this time. And then you can get those macros. If you kind of, and this is no disrespect, okay, but sometimes it seems like people are doing a little bit of this. Like, I hope it works out. Okay, like I'll enter it in at the end of the day and hopefully everything just fits in. It's not going to work like that, okay? It will not work like that. So I'm going to really encourage you at this point, now that we're almost 2 weeks in, I'm going to really encourage you to really plan and prepare, okay? So I had you in the beginning start with trying to get a protein strong food, carbohydrate strong food, and a fat strong food in every meal, which not everybody's doing, by the way, because I'm looking at your food journals. So we are now sort of beyond that. And now I want you to try to get those even amounts of macros in per meal, okay? I will tell you straight up, I don't do that myself. But I know, I can look at food already and be like, okay, I already know how much rice I need for carbs, how much protein I need for a meal. I'm so used to it that I just know off the top of my head. So while it may not be completely evenly perfect meal per meal, and it doesn't have to be, obviously, because it works for me, it should be close to that. So that by the time you get to the end of the day, you're not having something outrageous. You don't have to have like 50 grams of protein. Well, that's not really outrageous, but it might be for some people. You don't have to have 80 grams of protein or 100 grams of carbs or something, okay? Plan and prepare. It's true. It will really work for you. Okay. Somebody's complaining about weak ankles, how to strengthen them. Okay, listen, if you've rolled your ankle several times, then probably you've got some laxity in your ligaments in your feet. Okay, maybe the tendons as well, but definitely in the ligaments, especially if you've injured your ankles multiple times. But you can reduce that laxity to some degree, and you can strengthen your ankle by doing things like calf raises, which are part of the program, and then doing some tibialis raises. Okay, and also you can do some Bosu ball balancing. Okay, so like those half balls, we have them at the gym. You could stand on them on one foot and just try to balance yourself, and that will help to strengthen the small muscles in your foot. Okay, but calf raises and then doing tibialis raises, I can show you those. You probably don't know what those are. That will help to strengthen your ankles. Okay. Anybody who wants me to look at their diary, just send me regular reminders, okay? I mean, I'm trying to get through everybody as quickly as I can, but also remember that it's a reoccurring thing. So, if you don't want me to miss you, then just send me a message in Slack. Please don't message me in MyFitnessPal. It's just easier for me to have a messaging system where all the messages come into one area, and I don't have to go into different. I have to go into my email, and then go into MyFitnessPal and then into Slack. Okay, so just send me a message in Slack. Okay, how am I doing for time here? All right, I'm doing good. All right, I just want to tell you a little story here about. I know I'm not a normal person when it comes to this, in that I've done competitive physique competitions. Okay, but I'm still just like you. My body still works like yours. And so, I want to just, tell you guys that your body is, depending on how much muscle mass you have, really, your body is, muscle mass would be the primary determinant of this. But your body is somewhere between, that high 50 to maybe low 70% made of water type thing. Okay, the more muscle mass you have, the more your body is going to be percentage-wise made of water. Okay, and as such, you can manipulate that a lot. So last year when I competed in the North Americans, which was in Pittsburgh, I had to fly there, and when I fly, I typically hold a bit of water. And when I arrived on the evening of whatever day it was, I think it was a Monday, doesn't really matter, I landed, I got there, I weighed myself, and I had to make weight the next day, the next afternoon. Okay, so when I got there, I just got there, got in my hotel, took out my scale, weighed myself, and I was 194 and some change. I had to make the 176 class the next day. Okay, so that was 18 pounds, all right? Now, long story short, I lost the weight and made the weight cut the next day. But my point is that my body composition, the amount of fat and muscle that I had the day that I arrived and by the next day when I weighed in, was exactly the same. My body composition was exactly the same. The only thing that changed was the amount of water in my body, okay? Which was not easy to do, by the way. So, again, that's an extreme case, but I really want to hone into you that your weight doesn't necessarily mean anything, okay? Now, obviously, if, beginning of the month you're, a certain weight, and then the end of the month you're up 20 pounds, okay, obviously you gained some sort of tissue, right? Fat and or muscle, most likely majority of it was fat, if not all of it, okay? Those are like sort of clear-cut cases, but when you are measuring or weighing yourself day to day, and then you're going through something like this, especially with the way that we're eating, the type of training that we're doing, okay? And I realize that I may be somewhat repeating myself from yesterday, but it might take some time for you to realize this, that we are really causing a body recomposition. We are also building some momentum for you to be more energy inefficient, okay? Weight training really helps with energy inefficiency. That is, the body is basically primed to burn more energy at rest, okay? All right, that's all I'm going to say. Oh, man, already 10 minutes. I should have talked about that. Okay. Mister of the day. Habits over motivation and discipline, okay? People say, oh, you must be motivated. Oh, you must be so disciplined. No, it's just habits. It's just habits. It's just doing the tasks, okay? It's just executing on the tasks that you are supposed to do. That's all it is, right? It's not talent. It's not motivation. It's not discipline. It's like, okay. It's like, you know, you don't decide whether you're going to go to work, okay? Well, there might be the odd day that you decide, like, I'm not going to go to work today. But for the most part, you know, you get up and you go to work, right? I'm assuming most of you have a job, if not all of you. And, you know, because you've decided that that's, well, you don't want to get fired, obviously, right? But you just basically, the point is you don't give yourself a choice. And it's not like it requires talent. Maybe your job does require some talent, but it's not like it requires talent for you to go to work and do the work, right? It's just execution. It's the same with this, okay? I'm going to keep telling you, right? So set up those habits. You know, put your workouts in your calendar, put your cardio in your calendar, put your food preparation days in your calendar, prep your food, make everything so that it's going to work out. Okay, again, we're rolling through this challenge, you know, and we're almost a fifth of the way through, so we cannot be doing any of this, okay? It doesn't work. All right? Positive energy, positive vibes. Believe in yourself, and for the love of God, give some gratitude. And I'll talk to you guys all very soon. See you guys.